Joining us right now, Senator, Minister, friend Amanda Stoker, and former Senator, former Minister, but constant friend, Bronwyn Bishop. Ladies, hello. So, your thoughts on today, and again, this glaring idea that it's pretty obvious now that the polls are tightening. So, Bronwyn, do you have hope, or it's not enough? If the media tomorrow, the front pages everywhere is Prime Minister crash tackles child.
Well, no, I do believe there's still a pathway for the coalition to win. And as for that footage about the soccer game, that looked to me like he tripped and he was cradling the child to stop it being injured. So I would think as a woman, other women would see the cradling nature of it. But most importantly, what we're seeing with this polling, we're seeing polls that are in different sets. We've got legitimate polling, we've got fake polling, and they're going on in all the Simon Says seats, the Simon Says Tealies, and they're putting out again and again polling that says they're going to win because they want the bandwagon effect.
Correct.
But they are Shonky Brothers polling company.
Yeah, there's
and it's just got to be ignored, but showed up for how desperate they are.
Yeah, so closing days, Amanda, what's your sense here? Do you believe that the polls, if they were wrong when you were losing, are they right when you're on the way to winning?
I really do think there is a pathway to win. It is tight. I've been on the pre-poll booth every day in a whole range of electorates, and there's no doubt that it's tight, but a lot of people are keeping their cards close to their chest, and I think that speaks to the fact that, first, many people aren't prepared to declare their hand because they are a little bit uncertain themselves, that there is a reasonably high number of people who are still making up their mind. But I think it also speaks to that huge number of quiet Australians who don't necessarily respond to polls or don't participate in the fake polling and have really got far too busy lives to be engaged with politics really until the campaign. So there's plenty of room to run in this, but there are 3 days left to make a difference.
Absolutely. Well, guys, can we bring back that graphic from the start of the show about right direction, wrong direction? Again, there's lots of different things that you can read into polls, but if you are the party that's trying to boot out a government and 20-something% of your supporters say we're headed in the right direction, a big chunk are still in undecided, that literally the Greens are more enthusiastic about wrong track than Labor supporters, that reads something into me that he's got the same problem Shorten did, which is a lack of enthusiasm for his leadership, the case that he has made.
Look, I think that shows up. We see the difference between voting intention between men and women shown up and said, Morrison's got a problem with women. No, Albanese has a problem with men.
Yes.
They do not see him as a leader. And I see that a lot of the undecideds are in fact women who are very careful assessors of what they see, and they know that this country's headed for trouble. We're headed into troubled waters. And this is not the time to be changing. This is not the time when you can think, as it was in 2007 with $20 billion in the bank and balanced budgets and everything else, and you could look at Kevin Rudd and think, oh, look, he's a younger version, he says, of John Howard. It's not that sort of context this time. It is really a difference. As you say, it is time 3 days to save the country. And it really is, when I talk to people generally, and it could be when I was out campaigning in Pearce and in Perth with our candidate, who's an excellent woman. She, in fact, Linda Aitken, she was recognised by people and people were saying, we're supporting you. So that's quiet on the ground stuff. And it was really quite interesting because it was spontaneous. So when you see the difference between that and somebody who's been rung up by a robocall or whatever to try and get an assessment, I think that there's still a strong pathway to win.